Everyone, Husky Ninja here with a brand new deck overview for you guys. This one was submitted onto the Pawsome deck section of my Discord server. And I will put a link to it down below in the description for you guys so you can check out for yourselves. But it is a Haruhi Suzumiya deck called Religion Found. It is a tricolor deck where there are 7 blue, 10 green, and 33 that are red. And it looks like a really nicely condensed deck as well. So without further ado, we'll start from the climax cards and then work our way up to the level 3s. So first off, we have A Day in the Club Room, which is a red climax card with a 2-soul trigger. When this card is placed on your climax area from hand, choose up to 1 red card in your main room, put in your stock, and all your characters get a soul until the end of turn. Cards like this are really good when it's like early game and you need to make sure you have some extra stock ready for when you reach level 1, or to make sure you have enough to do any encores. But they run 4 copies of this. I don't know if this has a combo with anything, as I am really unfamiliar with this set. I do know it is one of the older sets out there. Next, there are 4 copies of Someday in the Rain, which is your typical 1/1 with the door trigger, which when this card is triggered, lets you get a character from your main room back to your hand. Next, we have the level 2 event. Release of Information Binding. Choose up to 1 of your opponent's climax cards in their climax area and put it into his or her waiting room. So it's a way to basically make sure the likelihood of your opponent being able to cancel your attack is lowered. So 3 copies of that event. 3 copies of Faded World. You may choose 1 of your level 1 or higher characters, put into your waiting room. If you do, choose up to 1 level 0 or lower brigade leader character in your waiting room. Put on any position of your stage and choose up to 2 characters from your waiting room and return them to your hand. So it's a good way to get a character you do need out on the stage there and then get the ones that can assist it or help with like any other ways from your waiting room back to your hand that you can then play. Next, we have 4 copies of Tree-Colored Nagato, which auto pay 1, put the top card of your deck into clock. When this is placed on stage from hand, you may pay the cost. If you do, search your deck for up to 1 or lower character, reveal it to your opponent, and put it in your hand, and then shuffle your deck. And auto, when this card attacks, choose 1 of your other Alien or SOS Brigade characters, and that character gains 1,000 power till the end of turn. So it's a good way to get characters you need their level 1 or lower out from your deck, and also a good way to basically get a bit of power boost. The only downside I see of this card is that you're paying 1 to put a card from the top of your deck to your clock. So that's good if you're going to level yourself up to level 1, but not so great if you don't want to level up so soon. So as long as you don't pay, you get a nice little bit of a power boost with its second auto ability. Next, we have 3 copies of Hot Springs Haruhi. Auto, when this card becomes reversed, if this card's opponent's level 0 or lower, you may reverse that character. And auto, when this card becomes reversed in battle, choose 1 of your SOS Brigade characters, and that character gets 1,500 to the end of turn. So if you have 2 of these on stage, I'd attack with them first. Then, if you have a card in the middle that needs that bit of an extra power boost, is a good way to give them a boost that they do need. As well as reverse level 0 characters on your opponent's stage, when you know it's like, it could be when you attack and you reverse yourself with their level 0. It also works for if they attack you. So the first order ability is practical for both ways of it being attacked, whether you're crashing into a level 0 or if they're attacking this with a level 0. Next, we have 3 copies of Taking a Break Haruhi. Continuous, your other character in the middle position. Yes, I did read that right. Of your center stage, gets 500 power. Continuously. So it's just you common a guardian assist essentially, but only for what's in the center position of your center stage. And action, brainstorm, pay 1, rest this card, flip over 4 cards from the top of your deck, put them into your main room. For each climax revealed amongst these cards, choose up to 1 brigade leader or SOS brigade character in your main room and return it to hand. So it's got a good way for you to get a card you do need back to your hand. I can see it helpful for like level 1s. Like if you have a level 1 in your center stage, is a good way to get a power to your middle position of your center stage character. But the main use for this, I see, is just to get a character you do need out, depending on how many Clamorous cards you do get via its brainstorm. And next up, we have Prim and Proper Haruhi with 4 copies. When this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, choose one of your other characters, rest it, and move it to an open position on your backstage. I see this as a good way to protect cards that you have at a higher level to make sure they don't get reversed, or if it's got a really good ability and you don't want to lose the option to do those abilities during your turns, is a good way to protect that card as well. And for 2,000 power, it's got a good level 0 base power. Next, we have 2 copies of Taking a Break Michiru. Oh, is it Meek? Oh, we got this card anyway. I told you guys I wasn't familiar with this set. But auto, when this card is placed on stage from your hand or memory, you may put the top 2 cards of your deck into your waiting room. In auto, when this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, you may put this card into your memory. If you do, at the beginning of your next draw phrase, choose 1, take a copy of this from in your memory and put on any position on your stage. So basically it's like, okay, I've made my opponent reverse, I'm gonna go hide in memory, then next turn, I'm gonna come straight back out. It's essentially what this card does. But 2 copies of that one. 2 copies of SOS Brigade's mascot. When another of your SOS Brigade characters is placed on the stage from your hand or memory to the end of turn, that character gets 1,000 power and the trait of T. So if you've got things you can easily get out of your memory, they get a nice little bit of a power boost from it. Next, we have 4 copies of Outrageous Behavior. Haruhi, when this card is placed on stage from your hand, this card gets 1,500 to the end of turn. And when this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, if a day in the club room is in your climax area, which was the first climax card we looked at, choose up to 1 level 0 or lower character in your opponent's center stage, put in their waiting room, and choose 1 brigade or SOS brigade character in your waiting room, return to hand. So you're basically sending your opponent's level 0 or lower characters from their center stage, which is their front row, to their waiting room, and then you can get a card out from your waiting room. So it's nice to see why there's 4 of this, as well as 4 of its climax card that it goes with. Next, we have Usual Hurry. When this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, you may put this card into your memory. If you do, beginning of your next draw phase, choose a copy of this card in your memory and put in any position on your stage. So this level 1, which there's 2 copies of, essentially does the same thing as this one, just with copies of itself, but at level 1. Next, we have a copy of Prim and Proper. I'll just say Mikuru. All your other SOS characters, or SOS Brigade characters, get a level and 500 power, continuous. And Odo, put a card from your hand into Rain Room. When your opponent uses Brainstorm abilities, if a climax is put into the Rain Room by the effect, you may pay cost. If you do, choose one of your opponent's characters, and that character gets minus 2,000 power to the end of turn. This is a good card to have, especially against level 2s and level 3s. Because you'll get a Brainstorm ability, so you can retrieve a character. And if, like me, you're not familiar with the sword ability, you use the Brainstorm to get something out. But then it's like, no you don't. One of your characters, getting 2,000 power removed from it. So it makes it a bit easier to basically beat the level 3s or level 2s on your opponent's side of the stage. But I would if I play this, I'd have an extra copy of this. Because then, it'd be 2,000 from each copy gets taken away from your opponent. So it'd be like 4,000 away from your opponent. Next, 2 copies of 10th Anniversary Haruhi. When this is placed on stage from your hand, you may choose one brigade leader or SOS brigade character in your rain room and return to your hand. And Odo, when Someday in the Rain is placed on your climax area, if this card is in your center stage, this card gets a fall ability to the end of turn. Odo, put one other character from your stage into your rain room. This ability activates up to 1 per turn. When this card's attacks, you may pay the cost. If you do, reveal the top card of your deck. If that card is a level 1 or higher brigade leader or SOS brigade character, put on any position of your stage, and that character gets 1,000 power to the end of turn. Otherwise, you return that card to its original position. I see this as a way to get basically your level 3s out. Get your level 3s out and they get a little bit of an extra boost. I have 2 copies of this. Next we have 4 copies of Trouble Girl Haruhi. When this is placed on the stage from hand or by change effect, you put the top card of your clock into your rain room. So is your clock healer as long as you buy playing from hand or by a change effect. When this card attacks, if a card named Someday in Rain is in your climax area, you may deal 1 damage to your opponent. Damage may be cancelled. So you have 2 cards here that run off this climax card here, but still nice to see really good deck compression, especially when it can help you out with like power boosts or with the ability to cause some damage to your opponent right off the bat. Next, we have 2 copies here of Cat Ears Mikuru. I'm so sorry if I'm butchering her name. But continuous, the character facing this loses a soul. And Odo, pay 1. When this is placed on stage from your hand, you may pay cost. If you do, to the end of your opponent's next turn, your opponent cannot play climax cards from hand. So this makes sure your opponent can't do things like standby, or play any sort of climax card whatsoever, as long as this was played from your hand for until the end of your next turn, if you're facing this card, that is. There's a little bit of a sneaky card there. Next, we have 3 copies of Reindeer. If your rain room has 2 or less climax cards, this gets minus a level while in your hand, making her a early runner, a level 2, as long as you have 2 or less climax cards in your rain room. And during this card's battle opponent, your opponent cannot play backups from hand. And although when this card is placed on stage from a hand, you may put the top card of your clock into your main room. So there are 2 healers in this deck. It is a nice deck overall. And I can see sort of cheekiness that this deck can do. Like minus 2000 power. If your opponent uses a brainstorm ability, they can do to your opponent. Not being able to play climax cards. Or you make sure your opponent can't use them anyway. And basically, 2 cards are basically like, I'm gonna go hide in memory, then come straight back out. So overall, I think this is a really fun deck. I'm not familiar with the set. And it's been years since I watched the anime. But it looks like a really cool, fun deck to play. I will put a link down below to where it is on Decklog. So you guys are more than welcome to go check out for yourselves. And while you're there, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure your restriction mode is off, because otherwise YouTube will hide everyone's videos from you guys. And we can't be having that. And also, if you want to take part in future videos, or if you would like your deck log or encore deck build to be shared on one of my deck overview videos of my Pawsome deck series, please make sure you go check out my Discord server. Link to it will be down below. And also, please make sure to check out the rest of the videos here on my channel. Until next time, bye everyone!